Hi, I'm Beth with TB Properties Buys Land, and today I'm going to talk about what the costs are to you as the seller when you're working with TB Properties Buys Land. So in order to address what the costs are to you as a seller, I have to talk about what the costs are if you're working with a realtor or selling on your own instead of working with somebody like us. So if you're working with a realtor or on your own, if you want market value for your property, you're going to have that property in tip-top shape. Chances are, if you've got rural vacant land that you're willing to sell, you're probably not keeping it up. You know, like we do with our houses, we mow our lawns, we've got the water going, we pull the weeds. If you haven't been out there in a while, and you want market value for your property, you're gonna have to make sure that driveway, if you've got a driveway to the property, that it's cleared, that those saplings have been cut down, that there's gravel going to your property, if that's been filled, there aren't any potholes in the road so people can get there in the winter months or in the rainy months. So there's gonna be some money involved in making sure your property is marketable. And then there's money for getting pictures or maybe even video of your property. If you hire a realtor, there's a cost involved there. So when you sell a house, normally that's a 6% split between the buyer and the seller, buying and selling agents. When you're selling rural vacant land, because the cost of land is cheaper than a house, it's a 10% split, 5 and 5. So you have to consider 10% of whatever your sell price ends up being. Not your list price, whatever that cost is or that sell price is, you're going to take 10%. That's going to go to the realtors on either side of the transaction. How about closing fees? When you're selling your land, you've got closing costs. You've got escrow fees that go to the title company, buyer's escrow fees or seller's escrow fees. Okay, that's split. Title insurance. Title insurance is typically paid for by the seller. That would be you paying for title insurance when you sell that property. There's recording fees that go to the county. There's excise taxes or transfer taxes that are paid. All of these things, have to be considered as costs when you're selling your property. Now, when you work with TB Properties Buys Land, you have none of those costs involved. TB Properties Buys Land does not require you to take your property and make sure that it looks good. We don't need you to fix it up. We don't need you to take pictures and video for us. We're not going to ask you to pay for your seller's escrow fees when you go to the title company. We're not going to ask you to pay for a title insurance. You will not pay for the recording fees or the excise taxes or any of that. In our one-page purchase agreement, we cover all of the closing costs. Any attorney fees, if there's title issues, we cover those as well. The only thing that we say is if you've got liens against your property, or if you've got a mortgage against your property, we do say that you would pay for that unless we otherwise agree on something different. But it's the only thing that we ask you to pay for. So you walk away from the transaction getting exactly the amount of money that's on that one-page purchase agreement. There are no out-of-pocket costs for you. What we say on that purchase agreement is exactly what you're going to get. So hopefully I've lined that out for you so you can kind of consider, if you're looking at selling your property, you can kind of consider what the costs are if you're selling with a realtor, how long it's going to take, are you willing to wait that long? And compare that to working with an investor, TB Properties Buys Land, and being able to get that property sold, to us in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, closing through title company, where you've got that third party, your cash that we offer you is paid to the title company, so it's secure and it's safe for both parties. But if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at service@tbpropertiesbuysland.com, or you can give us a shout. But we're excited to talk to you and look forward to working with you. Thanks again for listening.